Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Wealth and Wellness Report podcast. I'm your host, Diego. Today, we're bringing back R3Pictures into the show. We're going to talk a lot about our media outfit, what we do on our podcast, our equipment, all of the things, our software, our workflow. We're going to share it with you guys so that you can go out and do this yourselves. So, Ryan, welcome back, bro.
Hey, man, thanks. Feels good to be back.
Yeah, dude. Like we're like cranking out so much content. And for folks who don't know about you, you're director of photography.
Mm-hmm.
You went to the Academy of Art in San Francisco. You cut your teeth doing movies and photography and all the things that have to do with multimedia and video and picking up a camera. But here we're going to talk about our workflow, our partnership, our co-creative and collaborative program that we've got going here. Because you've helped out with the podcast, you've helped out with my personal social media content, building out my personal brand, and then all the other companies. So let's just dive into it, man.
Cool.
Why do you think media is no longer an option for? No, let me rephrase this. Why do you think media is no longer optional for entrepreneurs who are wanting to grow their brand?
I think that people just don't want to pay for it. I think that they want to put their money and time into other things and they don't think it's that important.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think that makes sense because you think about how social media, when it started, like it was all about like who you know, like for me, it was like getting a hold of family out of the country and them being able to follow what I'm up to and communicating without having to pick up the phone and call like another country. I felt like that was like a really cool time when social media came out. Right.
Also, I think people are scared.
I think they're scared. I think, which is something I heard the other day, people aren't scared of failing. They're scared of being seen failing.
Oh,
and that is like a whole nother ball game, right? Because if you're forging through and you're going through the day to day as an entrepreneur, like, yeah, you're going to make failures, but then to have a camera on you and to show folks your failure while you're failing is like a whole nother animal, right?
I'm not gonna lie. When I did my first podcast, I was terrified, and I don't even know why, because I'm always telling everybody it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, just get in front of the camera.
I've seen you interview people and you're just like, it's fine. Like, you're doing great. You're such a good coach, like rah, rally him, into a good mindset. And I thought it was kind of funny because I didn't realize you were so nervous until after, the episode, which I thought was pretty funny.
Now I'm okay. I think that after that first one, I think I'm a little bit better. I'm not totally 100%, but I would say I'm a lot better than the first time.
Yeah.
So.
From your perspective as a DP, how does video change the way people perceive authority and trust online?
I think about my fiance, and when she sees, say, somebody with a lot of followers and, they're really killing it online and doing what they love to do, she starts to trust them more than somebody who is kind of all over the place. And so I think as a DP, it's about your storytelling and the content that you're putting out.
Do you think like putting in the reps and seeing the measurement of success from the content that's being generated by that channel or that brand bring you in closer to the content?
I do think that people that happens to people. That happens to me even. Like people that I follow about the way they run their camera business or some of the things that I'm interested in online. Whether it be a food channel, because I love food channels. That's one of my favorites. I get a lot of ideas and recipes from food channels, and I follow a certain following, and it's just because of the way they cook and the way they tell the story.
The storytelling. Yeah. The journey of that story, I think, is really cool. Ben posted he's been posting a ton on TikTok, trying to get exposure for D1 golf. Oh. And he has been consistent with the posting. So he'll show videos of himself, like just swinging the club, and he'll set up stories and captions to each frame, and he'll set up various frames into a single like TikTok or story. And one he did just recently that completely blew up. It went from, a few hundred to a few thousand, and then it's like 15,000 on this one TikTok that he did that showed his journey throughout the summer as a high school golfer, shooting well, not shooting well, and you put some good music to it. But like the segment, the way he put it together was like really, like I was,
the story he put together,
tuned in, man. It was really cool, really cool.
How long was it?
It was maybe like 30 seconds.
Perfect. I think that's the sweet spot.
It's the sweet spot, and with good music and like a good story and captions on every slide. It was like, ooh, what's next? So you swipe, and then you swipe, and then you swipe, and then he had a really funny little tidbit at the last one where he's like, I don't know how to hit my driver, and it's him like, just after a swing, just flailing. It was kind of cool.
Did he kind of do the beginning, middle, and end kind of thing? Like,
he did.
Here's the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So
here's my struggle.
Yeah.
And
then like a funny moment at the very end, which I thought was, it was clever. It was really clever.
I think that's the main thing as a DP and a storyteller. I think just having that arc in the story is important, especially if people can relate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's huge for me, and I learned that a lot in school.
And having a bit of vulnerability too in front of the camera says a lot to the viewer. I believe you should talk to it like you're FaceTiming your friend instead of like it being very rigid and scripted and like robotic, because people catch on that,
I think people like comedy too. You know what I mean? I think like struggle and comedy, I think, are the top.
It's the drama and it, what do you call it? The masks, the drama mask, and then the comedy mask. One's smiling, one's frowning.
That is the drama mask.
But I want to geek out a little bit because we've got really cool toys that we call tools, but we call toys that we do use on a daily basis. Walk us through our camera rigs and why each rig matters.
Okay. That's kind of broad because I can probably go on for
forever. Well, I mean, specific to what we're doing together, right? Okay. So like we're doing we're doing podcasting, we're doing docuseries style videos, we're doing YouTube longs, we're doing shorts. So we've got various cameras that we use depending on the shoot. So maybe walk us through what we have and then how versatile it is within our production.
Got you.
And what, the viewer, if you're starting out and you needed a camera, like what do you get? There's so many different cameras out there. There's so much going on.
There is. And I guess let's start with the brand that we use. We use Sony cameras. So we can start with, the best one that your first, let's start with your first camera, is the ZV-E10. Mark II. Which is a great camera. I think for anybody who's a beginner and wants to do content and, You know, it doesn't have a lot of gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those cameras that is very versatile, and you can use it for whatever.
Good for
much.
vlogging.
A lot for vlogging. All your social media.
Yeah. Live streaming.
Live streaming.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a good camera to have for like a Zoom or a Google Meet.
I agree. And even for somebody who's getting started, so your 16-year-old son or daughter.
Yeah.
Say they want to start doing TikTok videos.
Yeah.
They don't have to use their phone. They can, you know, start with a small, nice camera and
pretty decent on the entry for price.
I agree.
I think it was like $1,200 or something like that.
And I
For
don't
the
know
quality,
if it comes with the kit lens. That I don't know.
It did not. That was just for the bot. Well, actually, it did come with a kit lens. It can come with a kit lens.
It can come with a kit lens.
But I opted for just the body because I wanted to do the 16 millimeter Sigma,
Gotcha.
which, like as you know, like really good to frame a vertical for social media.
I love that. I love that camera for that.
It's a really good camera for that.
When we were doing your social media series, that was my go-to camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of really cool features inside the camera too. Like, it's a pretty solid crop sensor, but it also has some AI software in it.
That's the intelligent mode.
That's the intelligent mode that kind of works off of the current light and the color of the environment.
It does make colors pop too.
It's the easy button. And then there's like a stability component too. Yeah, so like if you're walking around with it
does have the internal stabilization. Yeah.
So if you're doing like a selfie kind of style and you're walking, it's a pretty solid.
It does, which our cameras also have.
Okay. Yeah.
Our big boys.
So that's good for a starter kit. Entry level, really good beginner. And then what about the big boys?
So then we move up to our Alpha series cameras, which are full frame cameras.
This is all Sony.
All Sony.
All Sony. We're Sony kit.
So we could start with my A7S III, which I've had. I bought that during COVID when it came out. It shoots at 120 4K. So 120 frames per second in 4K. That means I could bring it down to pretty slow motion and it's not cropped. It'll stay at a full frame. That's one of my favorite things about it. What else do I love about that camera? I've been using that thing. I took that thing across the country 3 times on Race Across America. And I put it on a monopod, and that thing is just so versatile that I can just bang it around. And
so it's good for good utility camera. It's good for video, but it's also good for photography.
It's okay for photography. So it's 12 megapixels.
Okay.
You know, which is not the greatest, but I do have an R4 that's 60 megapixels for photography.
Got you.
So the lenses that I have are, well, I mean, I could include yours too, which would be, I have a 24-70 2.8 G Master. I have a 70-200 2.8 G Master.
Sony.
It's all Sonys.
All Sony.
Yeah. I also have a 200-600 G Master. That's more for photography though. So it's like shooting birds and airplanes and
landscape.
Not even like.
Oh, so stuff that's like far away.
Stuff that's really far.
So like if you go to the Giants game.
Yes.
And you got, the nosebleeds.
Correct.
You throw that up. Cool.
Correct.
So
I shot the moon with that thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Came out pretty good. Yeah, and then I also have a 12-24 Sigma for a wide shot.
Okay.
And a 50.
Yeah, which I just
bought. Yeah.
That's really cool. So that lens. So going back to the type of shoots, right? So that is the A7S III.
That is the A7S III with a 24-70 on it that I'm using at a 50 millimeter.
Cool. And that 50 millimeter gives you a nice wide shot, like what we're looking at right
Good
here.
medium shot.
Good medium shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Good medium shot.
And then the center camera, that's the
FX3, which is yours,
Mhm.
with a 16 to 35 on it.
And that gives us the nice wide shot.
That gives us a nice wide shot.
Cool. And the one that's on you is the A7R4.
It's the A7R4 with the 50 millimeter
G Master
on that.
So we like the G Master Sony lenses because of the quality of the glass.
Correct.
It gives you a nice, crisp, clean shot, and it's also good quality. It lasts a long time.
And the autofocus is fast. The motor's fast on the G Masters.
Cool.
And what else? Yeah, I think those are the main things. The autofocus is fast. The motor's fast. The glass is nice. And
Cool.
It's just a pretty lens.
Yeah.
You know, like-
Yeah. So what about one piece of equipment that we have that we use that's like a total game changer for our workflow, considering the types of shoots that we do: podcasting, docuseries, on-site shooting, construction, and real estate. We didn't talk about the drone either, because we also have the drones, which we can get into a little bit later. But
we're still on cameras.
We're still on cameras. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just having the A7S3 and you just got the FX3. I mean, those two cameras are, they're two beastie cameras. You know? Especially we added the V mounts to the back.
Good utility.
Great utilities. They're not too heavy, but they're not,
they're not like extremely light either.
No.
Unless you take them apart and you run them as a body and a lens, like for a gimbal setup, for instance. Like if you're going to go shoot a listing for a realtor at like a really nice home in, let's say, Burlingame or Hillsborough, and you've got a lot of real estate to cover, having a gimbal with a nice light body and a camera lens, because you're running a gimbal with your two hands or one-handed, depending on the shot.
Yeah.
For folks that don't know what a gimbal is, can you describe what?
So it's a 3-axis gimbal. Basically, it turns your hands into a steady cam. That would be the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah.
Most people have shaky hands. You put a camera on, you're holding it for a long time. Your hands start to get shaky because it starts getting heavy. But with the gimbal, you can move your hands like this and the camera just stays stable. So you can kind of maneuver and run around, and the camera just does smooth transitions.
Cool.
So
very cool.
So we do have one of those.
How do we go from, like, let's get into the workflow, because the cameras, and what we can do, guys, is we can put our cameras up in the description on the YouTube channel. So you guys can go and see links of all of these cameras and lenses and the type of equipment that we use. But in terms of workflow, how do we go from like raw footage to the polished content that we're creating for social media?
What you mean? What's the process?
Yeah, like what's the workflow? So we have an idea,
okay,
and then we go out and we shoot it. We then have raw footage that we have to turn into a polished, edited asset that we can put into the social media. What's that workflow look like?
That workflow is first is the idea, and then you go into pre-production. Then you have to plan the idea. So then it goes into planning. You make sure you know what shots you want to do. Make sure you have the right gear. Audio is very important. Lighting is very important. Obviously, your camera is very important. But I think lighting and audio are a little more important, because you can have, like I said, a beginner camera, but if it looks wonderful and sounds wonderful, then who knows what camera you shot that on.
Right.
So, Then you go into production, which is being on site or in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Let me start that over. Then you go into production.
Sure.
And either you're on site or in a studio. You grab all your footage,
Mm-hmm.
come home, upload it, make sure sounds good, looks good.
So you upload it into a workstation, into a hard drive or a cloud drive. So
what we do is
we like
to use a hard drive.
Yeah.
It's right there, easy to get to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to search around for it.
For sure. And we also like the solid state hard drives that give us a bit more viscosity or oil in the uploading, meaning that it doesn't take so long to take it from the card in the camera to the hard drive. The uploading is a little faster, and then also the exporting is a little faster. But because the content we create is so large, it's important that if you do get a hard drive, that you get a bigger one, because eventually you're going to you'll max it out, and you're going to need to get another one. So we use 4 to 8 terabyte solid state hard drives.
I like the SSDs.
The SSDs are good, and the uploading is I think around 3,500 megabits per second, which is pretty decent. You can get stuff that's like 1,200 or 1,600, but I find that the faster the drive, the easier the workflow. You know, you
and your computer.
The computer is huge too, of course.
So with the podcast, each card that comes out of a camera, I want to say is 40 gigabytes. And I'm able to upload each card within 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. So it's quick.
Which is great.
It's quick. So it goes into the hard drive as raw footage. And we have a very specific naming convention to all of our folders. So every camera has its own respective folder. And then we date and label the content, right?
You have to, or else then you're all over the place.
You're all over the place, right?
Find it.
It's so important to be organized in the workflow, which, you know, we do a really good job with our naming conventions and our folders, our parent folders, and then all of the subfolders that are within that parent folder.
I did learn that on day one of being in film school.
Yeah. That's
that was like the first
that's
thing
what they teach you.
The first thing that I learned in editing class was, all right, make sure you have all your naming conventions right, or else
you're going to be on a wild goose chase trying to find a particular shot on a particular shoot 100%. On a particular date, because there's multiple dates, multiple shoots, multiple, you know, cameras. So that's a huge one. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. And being in DIT, so DIT is the person who takes in a movie, on a film production, that is the person who takes the card from the camera, takes it to the computer, uploads it to the computer, and then takes the card back to the DP.
And DIT is an acronym for?
I always forget. Digital
something technician.
Exactly.
Digital information technician?
I forget what the I is. I forget what the I is, but it's digital something technician. And
so then it goes in the hard drive. We've got our naming conventions, our folders, everything's organized, looking sweet, looking good, feeling good. Then from there, what do?
Then from there, we're going into Premiere Pro.
So post-production now.
Yeah, now we move into post-production. Bring it into Premiere Pro.
Video and audio goes into the software.
Everything. So I bring that whole file.
Okay.
So I take it as a file and bring that file. Well, I start a new, let me start over.
New project.
There you go. So I start a new project, bring in the whole folder.
So the whole folder is all of the 3 cameras.
All the cameras, the audio.
And their audio files.
Sounds.
Everything.
Music.
Okay.
everything.
So if you're running 3 or 4 cameras, you bring those 3 or 4 cameras into the project.
And the great thing about Premiere is when you do that,
Mm-hmm.
they automatically put everything in order for you.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that about Premiere. So, and then it makes all the subfolders for you, and it does pretty much the whole thing for you.
Amazing.
And then from there, the cutting starts. So basically, what you do is you have to sync sound, sync all the cameras, make sure everything's all the sound, and you got to make sure all the video and sound are synced up. And then once you do that, then you go from there, and then the magic starts.
Yeah. And depending on what you're editing, you know, it could, you know, I mean, there could be jump cuts involved. There could be, you know, various type like reaction shots, B-roll. We haven't talked about B-roll, and B-roll is when you have descriptive footage that gets layered into your edit that is specific to whatever that person is talking about, right? So if I'm like talking about, I make waffles for breakfast and I love eating waffles every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. As I'm saying that, it cuts to somebody making waffles.
Perfect.
That would be B-roll.
That's B-roll.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think B-roll is, for me, a really cool part of an edit because it brings so much more to the story. You then now have this visual of the descriptive nature or the description of whatever, you know, if it's an interview or it's a podcast or something, kind of adds a really more, well, it adds another layer of interaction.
Do you notice that people are using B-roll for podcasts?
Some people do. I've seen some people layer in captions, like an interactive caption type, you know, overlay to the frame. I've seen some do B-roll that, you know, if there's a story that's being told by one of the podcasters that then it cuts to, you know, whatever it is that they're describing. For podcasts, and it be very specific to video, I think that's cool. But then remember, a lot of us, we listen to podcasts in the car on the way to work. We listen to podcasts while we're at the gym on the treadmill. We're listening to podcasts, you know, when we're not in front of a screen. And in those cases, like, is B-roll really that valuable for a show?
I never thought so myself.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. But it's cool if you have video and you're watching a podcast.
That is cool.
I think that's cool. So then the editing is such an important, well, going back to the workflow, the editing is such an important workflow component. It's where you polish everything up.
It's what takes the longest too.
Yeah. So that time
post-production
is the I think the area in the workflow that creates the most friction, right? Because you not only need the time, but you also need whomever's doing the editing a creative sense or a creative eye, because then they're the ones that are manipulating the raw footage into something that's going to be captivating.
It's like putting together a puzzle. That's how I always looked at it. Like, okay, how can I make this puzzle look cool? It's like putting together a puzzle with a blank sheet on it. Like, okay, what kind of picture do you want?
What I'm going to put here? What am I going to put there? And how am I going to, you know, B-roll that or B-roll this? Yeah, that's really cool. And we just started using a really cool software. Actually, it's a plugin to our existing software that we use, because we're predominantly Creative Cloud, Adobe Creative Cloud. We use all of the Adobe Creative Cloud apps, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro, all the whole kit. But for the podcast, we use Adobe Premiere Pro Plus. And then this plugin that we found called Autopod gets embedded into the program, and then now we can create jump cuts. Now we can edit the whole show in like
AI
minutes, not even minutes, right?
I think AI does it for me in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It takes me longer to sync the audio than it does for them to cut up an hour-long podcast.
Yeah. So that's game changing, right? Because now we can accelerate our workflow and then now do volume at scale.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are watching this on YouTube, this is getting edited with the help of AI. And this plugin called Autopod is not completely perfect. It is something that needs to be polished, right? So let's talk about that. Like
Yes.
the polish, like you scrub the cut, which means you're going through the entire edit to find issues, right? Gaps, wrong frame, the sound isn't synced.
The sound's normally synced. The problem that I think I have is, say you're looking at camera A, and since it runs off audio, it doesn't know that you're looking at camera A. So I'll have to go through it and just make sure that if you're looking at camera A, it cuts to that camera instead of camera C.
So another thing that we've learned too, which is really cool, is the audio file, because we run all of these mics through a Rodecaster Pro II. And what we found is if you don't create a multi-track set of files for your microphones, it all gets condensed into one wave file. So when you bring that into the editing,
it doesn't work off that.
You wouldn't be able to use the plugin.
You wouldn't.
You'd have to manually edit the podcast.
I'm actually going through that right now from the first one we did with the new Rodecaster.
The new Rodecaster.
Yes.
So there's a feature in the Rodecaster Pro II that allows you to create a multi-track segment that separates all of the microphones. So microphone 1 can be attached to a camera. Microphone 2 could be attached to a camera, and it, all the way down to, I think, 4 inputs for this unit. And so when you bring those into Premiere and you use the Autopod plugin, now it knows which camera is which microphone and can cut, which is crazy. Like the idea that we're taking an hour and condensing it into like a minute.
Yeah.
Granted,
maybe even longer than an hour too, depending on
how long it is. And if you want to put in reaction shots and B-roll.
Exactly.
The dude, the Autopod plugin also can create jump cuts and reaction cuts. And I don't think we've gone into the jump cut feature yet, but the reaction shots, when we went through that last scrub, when somebody says something and then the other person like has a reaction, it jumps to that frame, which I thought was fascinating.
I did not set that. It just happened. So I'm still playing with that feature.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool feature, because a lot of people that don't cut podcasts, they'll just cut to the person that's talking. And you got to get those reaction shots, I think.
I think so. It captivates you. The really cool part about Autopod that I like, other than it being condensed time wise, is just the overall ability of the editor to utilize a tool to accelerate the workflow and do volume at scale. So now we can take one editor and do multiple podcasts rather than having 2 or 3 editors to do multiple podcasts, which I think is game changing. So it's not perfect. And you spend maybe like another 15 to 20 minutes to polish it up and to throw in the music and the fade outs.
About that.
Okay. Yeah. That's still really
about that.
Really good.
Say. Except for this one with the messed up audio. That one's throwing me off a little bit, but I think once I get the hang of it, I'll be able to just get the workflow down and bang right through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And same with training our new editing team, right? Like bringing in Lizzie and teaching her how to utilize these tools is going to be like game changing because you and I, what we want to mostly focus on is
making the content,
capturing the content, getting into the room and setting up the lights and setting up the cameras and shooting the content and then bringing it back to the team so that they can make this raw footage into a polished, beautiful asset we can publish on social media. So it is a conveyor belt. It is a workflow. It is, it's not just Ryan and I. We have a team.
And we're still learning every day. We've only been really together for 6 months now. Has it been? How long has it been?
I think it's, going on 7 or 8 now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going on 7 months.
Yeah.
Why? So going back to the workflow, you guys, that's what is like the post-production setup. Is there anything else you wanted to mention on post-production?
Okay. So once you get your rough cut down, then you go through it, and then because your rough cut is always your first cut, it's never going to be the cut. So you're going to have normally 3 cuts before you export. So what I do is I make a rough cut. And actually, I'll go through B-roll, cut all that, go through interview, cut all that, make a rough cut. So now I'm putting the interview down, and then I'm putting B-roll over the interview. So no music, no color correction, no music, no color correction, no sound effects. So it's just
no captions.
No captions. It's just
rough. It's a rough cut.
Rough cut. Yeah, exactly. And then what you do is you make a master cut, and then you start polishing that rough cut into the master cut. And then once you get that master cut down on the timeline, then you can start putting music, sound effects,
the embellishments,
captions. And then after you do all that, the last thing to do is color grade.
Cool. And then once it's final cut, then we export it to the hard drive. And we also have naming conventions there.
Correct.
So naming conventions for the raw footage, naming conventions for the polished final edits.
Correct.
What do we do with rough cuts? Do we just toss those, or do we keep them? What do you like to do?
I normally keep them.
Okay.
Just because, like, hey, what if I forgot to put this one shot in?
So it lands in the project folder somewhere.
It does.
Okay.
Because what if you forget one little thing? It'll probably be in the rough cut.
That makes sense. Instead of having to go through all of it again.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Cool. So the polished final edit gets exported back into the hard drive. And then from there, and this is where we have tested and have measured what is most successful. From there, we schedule the publishing of the asset within the respective social media channel, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. We find that scheduling the asset directly into the platform gives you the most potential to gain the most viewership if it's done that way, rather than putting it into a third party, because there's a lot of third party software out there that you can consolidate all of your posting, all of your assets and your posting into one location. And then from there, it will go into the platform. We found out that it's more successful from the algorithms in these platforms to do the scheduling and the posting within that respective channel. So if you're in Instagram, you take the asset, you put it into Instagram, and you schedule it there. If you're posting onto TikTok, you take the asset, you put it into TikTok, and you post it there. And all the way down the line of channels that you're doing, because not a lot of the third-party software out there that integrates with these social media platforms provides you that full load conduit that gives you the most viewership and the most potential for your post to be the most successful, if that makes any sense. So having a team to create the pipeline of scheduling is the most important. Because
That's still a lot.
Because what I mean, like what we've done, we've got like this mothership of final edit that we need to get onto the conveyor belt and put into these social media channels. And so we're backlogging 60 days, 90 days. Having that pipeline is, I think, so important for the workflow, because anything that we create now, we're not pressed for time to, put up into the platform and post. And then if something does resonate or does do really well in the post-production side of things, and we create a really good final edit, well, we can add that to the schedule and bringing it up into the timeline, so that it hits and it's pertinent and relative to the time. So like if we get a property under contract, for instance, like we're not going to want to schedule that post to be 90 days down the line, because we probably are going to already close that deal and it's going to be in the portfolio. But if we bring it up in the schedule, then it's pertinent to the timeline. And I think that provides a little more authenticity, like you're showing it. And I think people would be a little more compelled to follow your storytelling. So I think that's a pretty good like workflow right there, right? Like pre-production, production,
All the way
post-production to posting. And then one thing that we didn't talk about is like recapturing these final assets when they go into the social media channel. So if we do a final edit, let's say on a podcast, we can take that long form final edit and recapture shorts, recapture reels.
You make it into like 5 normally. That's what
and that's like, you're now taking one asset and now you've turned it into 5, which is, I think, game changing when you think about the schedule. And like, if you're looking to build a brand and you're hoping to like create a lot of content, like you can leverage one asset and like multiply it by 5 or more, depending on what sort of content it is. Particularly with podcasts, you can certainly create a lot of stuff. Cool. So that's our workflow, you guys. I think that's like a pretty streamlined, basic setup. You've got our cameras, our audio.
So our camera setup, which we didn't really finish, so I'll just finish it. We have
more cameras?
We have more because we only talked about 2.
We talked about the A7R4. We talked about the EV.
I was just going to do a list.
Okay.
So we have...
Bring it back.
We have... So camera setup we have is... Oh, did I go through the full camera setup?
You talked about the A7S3.
Okay.
Which is another workhorse.
The ZVE10.
The ZVE10, which is the really good one for vlogging.
We have the A7R4, which is great for photography.
But does video. And is pretty good.
It still shoots 4K.
It still shoots 4K in 30, not 60 though. But that's totally fine for a lot of people.
And then we have the FX3.
The FX3.
Which has the same exact sensor as the A7S3. So it shoots 120 in 4K.
Yep.
Internal stabilization, just like the A7S3.
It's in a light body. I think it's a really good camera for a gimbal. If it's not rigged out.
Exactly.
And I think that's I think that's the majority of it. We're eyeing another camera that will replace the A7R4, which is for the podcast. Yes. And depending on what Sony is going to do, maybe the A7S4 or the FX3 Mark II.
I'm excited to see both of those cameras.
Me too. The more I work with these Sony products, the more I'm like, why would I ever touch Blackmagic or Canon or Nikon or any of those? And they just have great equipment. It lasts long. They update firmware consistently. It's, I think, a really good situation all the way around.
And they're not paying us, by the way.
And they are absolutely not paying us yet.
Yeah. For sure.
Cool. So I want to talk about, now that you guys know the workflow and the camera setups and our audio and lighting and stuff, I want to talk about storytelling. I know you touched on that a little bit at the beginning. You've shot, a lot of the content for me, other entrepreneurs and other brands, and stories across different industries. What makes a story resonate on camera, Ryan?
Like I was saying earlier, I think having an arc to your story. If there's no finish line, no ending, or no middle, no conflict, or no beginning, it's not really a story.
Yeah.
It's just you saying something.
Yeah. So an arc is
beginning, middle, end.
Got you. Storytelling is huge.
It is huge.
What are some of the biggest mistakes people make when they try to look professional without focusing on that story?
If somebody's trying to sell a pizza and they're not wearing a chef's coat, what are they? I mean,
yeah.
If you're trying to really tell the right story, you should be wearing a chef's coat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make sure you light yourself right.
Yeah. It's funny. I think about, David Portnoy, David Portnoy.
I do.
When he does those pizza reviews.
Yes, I do know him.
And he goes, one bite, everybody knows the rules. And he's taking like 20 bites. You're like, well, at least for me, I'm like, well, you said one bite, dude, and you're eating like 15 bites, but that's the hook. That's the hook that gets you to want to like watch him because
the one bite.
It's not one bite. It's 15 bites. And the more bites you take, the more you want to go and get a pizza from that place.
So when he holds it up and it bends.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I want to bite that.
So that's like a really basic example.
Okay. So now,
right?
So what's the question again?
What are the biggest mistakes people make when they try to look professional without focusing on the story?
Without focusing on the story, they're trying to.
Some of the biggest mistakes they make, I think being disingenuous, being disingenuous is
not following your own rules.
Disingenuine is good.
Maybe
not following the format, right? If there's a format involved, you kind of need to follow that format for that content. So if you're
maybe when you're all over the place,
right,
when your bio says one thing and you're talking about another thing, I would say that'd probably be a bad thing. I think that would probably be the main thing, is then people don't trust you.
Yeah.
And you need people to trust you, especially in social media.
100%. 100%.
Or else you're just gonna get skipped.
And right now things are so saturated within all of these channels. There's just a lot of content out there. How do you separate yourself from that? Well, I think you do that by being genuine and authentic and following a format and creating hooks that bring value or entertainment to people.
Hooks are a big one.
Hooks are everything. But for entrepreneurs or business owners, because as a lot of the viewers are people who are trying to start a business or are in business, whether it's construction or real estate or technology. How can entrepreneurs find stories in their everyday lives that actually connect with their audience?
I think about my fiance, and what she pushes is her journey. So for other people, I would say you got to use your journey and what your goal is and talk about that, because that's what's going to bring people in who are having the same struggle, I think.
So it could be a simple, so Cash, she's big on her health journey. So she captures a lot. And I think about this too. It's a great example. She captures a lot of her everyday life. And, it's just hand in phone or phone in hand. She's going to the store. She's walking the dog. She's, showing you the meal she's created. And it's like part of her journey. And so I think a lot of people are drawn to that journey because it's happening in real time and it's not so formal and scripted and disingenuine. I think that's a really good way folks can begin to capture content is just in your everyday. You know,
Mhm.
we've talked about this
We
too
have.
when we're shooting a podcast, or if we're shooting, you know, an interview or a documentary. Like we get behind the cameras and we do some behind
Mhm.
the scenes
I know.
so that people can see that, you know, this is part of our part of our
Mhm.
everyday life at work.
And that's one thing I do need to work on because I'm so focused on the cameras that I forget to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough sometimes because you're focused on, especially when you're kind of like a 1 or 2 man band,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot to focus on rather than when you have 10 people, everybody has a job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's tough sometimes.
So,
But
so I totally agree. So storytelling, brand building, authenticity,
mhm,
being genuine,
all those things,
all those things are important.
I think so.
Okay, well, what about the realities of this content creation machine that we've created? What do you think is the hardest part about getting entrepreneurs comfortable in front of the camera?
I think you just got to get them out of their own head.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what entrepreneurs really get afraid of is how they look in front of the camera
Mm-hmm.
or how they sound
Mm-hmm.
because you don't really know until you hear yourself or see yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are brand new at it and they're not used to it.
Yeah. They're
So
not trained either. If you think about
that
it,
too.
like you go into movie production, you're working with trained
Trained actors,
actors,
correct.
which, you know, you go through school and you go
Mhm.
through, you know, trial and error. But to be, you know, a small business owner, and I had a conversation with one yesterday, actually, at the end of the day, who was brand new, like phenomenal at what he does,
Mhm.
commercial development guy, super successful, makes a lot of money, but wants to expand and grow. So he's decided to create a personal brand and has never been in front of the camera, has never created any social media content, and is just completely beside himself. He was telling me, he's like, I don't know what to say
So
or do.
how
And,
do we convince that guy to do it?
you know, by just talking to the camera like it's your friend. So like this analogy of using social media as like your buddy
It's
and
funny
and FaceTiming your
because you already
buddy.
know there's gonna be haters.
Yeah. And
So
but having haters is a good sign that you're in the right direction,
I agree.
because not everybody's going to resonate with your stuff.
I agree.
And if a hater gets into your content, then it's like, well, they're spending time out of their day to consume your content, whether they like it or not,
Mhm.
and actually spend even more time to tell you that they don't like it, which means you are now stuck in their head.
That's true.
So like take that as a compliment, or
Mhm.
take that as, you know, a sign that you're in, you know, the right direction. Um,
That's true.
but I, you know, going back to what I said earlier
Mhm.
too, another thing that I think is hard for entrepreneurs that are successful,
Mhm.
whether you're successful or not, to get in front of the camera is, you know, the fear of failure is real in a
Oh,
lot of
that's right.
people's
I
lives,
forgot that one.
but being seen failing is a whole nother game, because you can, in your day to day, you know, you don't close a deal, or, you know, you make a mistake on a project, you know, like, cool, you eat it, you learn, you grow. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're hungry for those lessons. But then you have a camera with a light on
Mhm.
it, and then it's actually showing the world that you fucked up. Then
But
you're like, whoa,
but then once you stop, then that means you're not being consistent.
yeah,
And then what?
then what?
You just have to wake up and do it again.
You got to put in the reps. Yeah.
Because
So,
consistency is huge also.
so yeah, which is huge. So how do people push past that perfectionism and just hit, you know, the reps, like a mindset thing, right?
I think so.
Like you just got to put your head down and
I
keep
think
going.
so because I think
Do you want it that bad?
that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um,
Yeah. I think, well, so why do you think consistency beats going viral when it comes to building a brand?
Because I think that you can go viral and be seen for 1 month rather than being consistent for a year
Uh-huh.
building a brand. You're probably going to kill it after a year
Yeah.
rather than just being viral once.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better be viral again if you're
Yeah.
going to do it the month after or
Yeah.
6 months after, because
Makes
people
sense.
forget
That makes sense. People do forget. People do forget. So
fast too.
let's talk about some. I want to talk about some advice, because you and I have learned quite a bit. I mean, I feel like we've compressed 7 months, and I've learned so much, like 2-3 years worth of learning in just a short amount of time.
Mhm.
If you can give a new creator 3 steps to start today, what would they be?
3 steps
Yeah.
to start a personal brand or
Just to start creating
just to
content.
start creating content.
Yeah.
Easy. Number one's easy. Number one is buy a camera
Mm-hmm. Or just use your phone,
or
maybe?
use your phone. Get in front of it.
Yeah. Get in front of a
Get in
camera.
front of a
Because the best camera is the one that's in your hand.
Correct.
Got you.
That is the best camera. Get in front of it. Number 2 is have a goal, not a goal. Have something that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Be consistent on what you're going for. Say you want to have a pizza brand.
Mm-hmm.
Do pizzas every day
Mhm.
for a certain amount of time. Or, you have to stay consistent on your content, because if you're all over the place, people won't understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would be my number 2. My number 3, I would say don't give up.
Mm-hmm. Don't quit.
Don't quit. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a while before people start to see you.
Mm-hmm.
But once they do, you're just gonna keep going uphill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would say those are the top 3. Number 1, get in front of the camera. Number 2, stay consistent. And number 3, don't give up.
Well, how do you see? I think that's great advice. I think that's really good advice. And you don't need thousands of dollars to start.
No.
You just need to pick up your phone or any old camera and start talking. How do you see the creator landscape evolving over the next 2 to 3 years?
Good question. I think it's gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
It's already going nuts with AI.
Mhm.
It feels like AI has been out for a year and it's already
I know.
making things crazy, and everybody's going crazy over it. And
Yeah.
everybody's worried they're losing jobs, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about it, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, because I don't know what's gonna happen.
I think about it quite a bit.
I do too.
I think with the advent of AI and this new technology that's just game changing,
Mhm.
I think creators need to be careful with how they use AI in their content creation. Because if you're using AI in the pre-production,
Mm.
or rather production, like if you're using AI in the production phase of the workflow, you could risk, depending on your content, if it's like a personal brand or something like that, you could risk becoming disingenuine or fake or robotic.
I agree with that.
I think more people, as AI gets really, really hot, more people are going to want to have that human to human interaction, right?
I agree with that. I think that using it in the right way is going to really help your brand.
Totally. So maybe more on like the pre-production side of things, tools, systems, process,
And post.
and then post side of things with editing, and
Even publishing.
and publishing too. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's somewhere creators need to be careful in how they navigate this new world of AI, and not to relinquish all of your creativity to the AI software or generative learning or whatever, because people are going to want to have more of that human to human interaction.
I just hope people don't cheat with it, like cheat how they do things, and use it that way. Like use it to cheat to get more followers or to make money. Then it's kind of pointless. Not pointless, but then it turns into
it's not so effective.
Kind of a dark side of it.
Yeah, because it's about bringing value. I agree. Well, this has been cool, man. I think that kind of sets the tone to what we're up to. So behind the scenes, talking with Ryan, the DP, creating all this content here, this podcast in particular. Circling back to what I had said earlier, we'll be able to link all of our pieces of equipment, things that we like to use within our workflow for everybody. I think that'll be really helpful. But of course, at the end of every show, we have the rapid fire round.
All right.
You ready?
Try not to stump me on this one.
All right. This one is, I think I know what you're going to say, but we'll see.
All right.
DSLR or mirrorless?
I love mirrorless now.
Okay.
I used to have a DSLR, but
Okay.
mirrorless 100%. It's lighter.
Cool.
It's faster.
Yeah.
All the things.
Would you rather use a tripod or a gimbal for your camera?
Ooh.
If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I like gimbal.
Cool.
Steadicam.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's right. You're a Steadicam operator. What, and this probably changes from time to time. What is your favorite lens?
My favorite lens right now. Right now, I just got a 50 millimeter GM, so I'm learning what it does and all the things. So right now, that's my favorite.
Cool. Do you prefer shooting inside or outside?
Outside, 100%.
So if you're on a long shoot, like a long day shoot, do you go for the energy drink or do you go for the coffee?
Coffee all day. I'll have 4 cups by the end of the day.
What's your biggest pet peeve? What is your biggest pet peeve on set?
Ooh, that's a good one. My biggest pet peeve on set is when people aren't paying attention. They're standing around when they should be doing something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So like, cool, stand around, but pay attention at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cause on a set, I mean, things can move quickly.
Correct.
From moment to moment. Yeah. What do you think, or name one creator you think everyone should be studying right now?
Diego J. Torello.
I'm studying too. For me, it would be probably Dan Martell.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I was gonna. I follow a bunch of folks, but I think Dan's media company that he's grown just in the last 8 months has accelerated from 100,000 followers throughout his channels to like, I think he's at like 5 or 10 million now throughout all of his channels.
I was gonna say David Goggins though.
David Goggins is good too. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, this was cool. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention?
No, I think that was good.
All right.
Yeah, subscribe if you haven't.
Please subscribe. The more you guys subscribe, the more content we'll shoot out, the more exposure we get, and we can keep doing shows like this. As I mentioned earlier, we'll have all the links to the cameras and the equipment that we like to use. And we'll see you guys on the next show.
And then also follow R3Pictures. I'm still building that one. It's built, but it's up on YouTube now.
Yep.
So me and him are linked up already. So
yeah. And
cool.
Feel free to reach out too anytime. Happy to help everybody with their media.
Yeah.
See you on the next one, guys.
Peace out.
Peace.